On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at Polestar.com.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to the Sober is Dope podcast. I'm your host, Pop Buchanan, and I want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2025 to everyone in the Sober is Dope community, everyone that's fighting the good fight on your personal journey, whether you're in active addiction or active recovery. There is no love lost, and we are here for you. I want to start off by just saying that I'm very optimistic about the new year, despite whatever may be happening in the world and the media. We must remain optimistic, and we must remain focused, and we must remember why we started, and we must practice forgiving ourselves. So this episode is just an episode where I want to focus on you, catching up with everyone in the community, tapping in, and setting the tone for 2025. So every year on Sober is Dope, we kind of coin the year. You know, we had the years of elevation, the year of celebration, the year of this, the year of that. So 2025, I want that to be the year of loyalty and honesty. This is the year I want you to practice radical honesty with yourself, radical honesty with those that you love, radical honesty with your life, your shortcomings, your setbacks. And I want you to be loyal to those around you and to the ideals and things within yourself that nurture goodness. And loyalty is real. When you think about your recovery or your health or your personal journey, is I have to remain loyal to my agenda, loyal to what's right. Because there's so many distractions in the world, we tend to set out with an intention, and at some point we get distracted. So you have these intentions and they're followed by distractions, and then we kind of go off course and delineate. So what I want to do now is just bring us back to a main focal point. This is the year where we focus on honesty and loyalty. Okay. And for everyone that's practicing dry January, this is a perfect example. I want you to be loyal to that idea and loyal to that endeavor. You know, anyone that's practicing recovery, anyone that has a New Year's resolution, be honest about why you chose the resolution, and also be honest about why you need to follow through, and then be focused on staying loyal to that, staying loyal to yourself, right? Being honest about that. And, you know, we have this society where everyone is out here promoting their own agendas. You could get lost scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, living through comparison, you know, talking negatively to yourself like I need to do more. You know, sometimes if I have a busy month or two at work and I'm having some emergency in the family and I can't record a podcast, or I may not have done enough reels that month, or I may not have enough marketing materials, it's easy after a couple of weeks to feel like just scrolling through the internet that you're kind of lacking and you're missing out on the action, and that people's going to forget you, and then sometimes I have to stop myself and say, God, it's been a couple of weeks. It's okay. You're going to be doing this for years. It's okay. People have lives. You don't have to be on this thing every day. You know, social media, agendas, marketing, politics, news, none of this stuff is real life. Life is what's important. I'm actually encouraging people to be offline a little bit more, focusing on things that's real, like actually creating instead of consuming. They're training us with social media to be very consumptious, and to consume content, ideas and ideals and ideologies, and it leads to depression to some extent, because you're just constantly seeing this deluge of just images and ideas thrown at you. And then you start forgetting about the good things that you have going on. And then you start measuring yourself against what society is starting to show us in the form of content and reels. And it's disturbing. And I see many people relapse because they may be scrolling through the internet and see something that their ex is doing. Oh, my ex dumped me and now she's in Maui with some cute guy. Now I'm fixated on this and I can't think and I can't do anything. So now I'm going to go relapse, right? Or I'm going to go into dark depression. Or someone might see their friends out drinking and having a good time without them, and they may feel resentful because they're like, well, I got sober, now these people are hanging out without me and I have to look at it online, and you feel like you're missing out. You might just see people having fun. What I'm saying is, be honest. You have to be honest about where you are in your life. And I know it's going to be hard sometimes when you seeing the world fly by and you got to deal with sobriety and recovery, or even your addiction while you're consuming the world at the same time. You see friends doing well. Some people may be dying. This is happening in the world. This politics, the presidential election, this, that, money, investment, stocks, how to do this, how to do that, how to start this business, how to start that business. After a while, it becomes like, what the hell are we doing in this society? Like, I just want to like get through the day. And so I'm saying, be wary in 2025 of over consuming what the world is showing you, and try to stay grounded in who you are, because we don't want to lose ourselves on this digital journey we're about to embark on. I know that may be deep, but look, we're going into artificial intelligence. We're going into quantum computing. Technology is shifting. The world is shifting. We're in this digital interface. Our lives are online now. No matter how much we want to lie about it, our lives are online. It's hard for people to connect now in person. Everything is very digital. Everything is likes and shares. So in a world like that, where you have to go to a physical meeting and you have to go see a physical doctor and sit with your physical therapist and your physical sponsor, and you have to deal with your reality in real time, and you know, sometimes that world could be moving so fast that you feel like you're left out. And I just don't want that for us in 2025. I actually encourage us in 2025 to become more grounded in the tangibles, writing on paper, right? Jotting down notes, going out more, actually going out and meeting up with friends and putting the phones away and saying, look, I just want to go do something where it forces us not to use our phones, becoming more, being more present for your family and friends, and giving people a shot, and learning to let people be and be free, especially for those in relationships. It's important to let you be free. Don't take so much ownership over what your spouse is doing. Don't try to be so controlling. Like, just kind of like trust yourself in the world and see where life takes you. It's very important, because recovery, when I first got sober about 12 years ago, it wasn't this much. Instagram was just starting. Facebook was cool, but it wasn't like this pressure. It was no reels. There was no videos. It was still just posting photos and things that you liked, right? And it was very simple. And it was a simple time that nurtured just positivity. It wasn't as much division and politics, and it wasn't the way the world expressed themselves 12 years ago. The way the world expressed itself 12 years ago was very tangible. It was like it was still newspapers and TV and meeting with people in person and picking up a phone and calling, and less texting, more calling. It was different. And our response to that, we had more meetings, we had more like outreach, and we had less access to what's happening around us, because it wasn't as easy just picking up the phone and seeing what everyone was doing. It was a different time. It was, if lack of a better word, it was more organic. And now it's just really very digital and very fast. And the world is moving fast on us, and it's a different time. And it's easy to get swept up in what the world is doing online. And it's easy for us to lose our sober persona from on the internet opposed to who we are in real life. So we're put on these sober internet faces, and then we have these real life faces that sometimes could be sad and kind of ugly, right? And we don't necessarily always feel comfortable showing the sad and ugly part because we're in this digital interface called the internet, where you're kind of programmed to put on your best face. So that's where we lose the authenticity, and therefore you have people that start to commit suicide in secrecy because they were struggling and depressed in secrecy, and they was relapsing in secrecy, because sometimes the internet does not give you a platform to promote relapsing and going through the tough times. Everything about sobriety tends to seem pretty and seem easy and seem picturesque. And that's why even with me, sober is dope, I sometimes contribute to this, because I'm sometimes saying sober is dope, and I'm not always reminding people that addiction is not, right? I'm just focusing on sobriety, but I can't neglect the addiction side and the pain and what we're dealing with. A lot of us, a lot of you, including myself, we're fighting every day still. I have 12 years. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'll tell you really honestly what's going on with me. It's like, even after 12 years, it still feels like day one. As strong as I am, it's still this sensitivity where it's like, I know, is this option in the world that's really dark for me, and if I was to partake, go down that rabbit hole, I could die and all hell would break loose, and I'm fighting this thing, right? It's not easy. It's easy to forget you're fighting this big monster every day, even when you have 12 years in. So it's important for me to sometimes be humble, disconnect from the world, and say, listen, let me do a moral inventory. Let me just do an inventory, not a moral inventory. Let me do an inventory on me, Joseph Pop Buchanan. What's up with me? What's going on with me? Let me check in with my family. Let's check in with my spouse. Let me see what's going on with them. See if they're happy. Sometimes we could be in a relationship and never ask someone that we're with, are you happy? Haven't had to talk about that. We've been together for years. We have our ups and downs. I never sat you down, took you out on a date, and just asked you an honest question. No judgment. Are you happy? What can I do to make things better? Do you feel, where we, what I'm trying to say, it takes a lot of courage for us to really stay organic and stay connected to each other and be honest with ourselves. And that's why I talk about honesty and loyalty. I want you to be honest with yourself about your recovery journey, about who you are, about what's going on in your life, about the dark moments when you're in your house by yourself. Like, how do you deal with a Friday night when you have no plans and no one call you and you're just home? Are you in extreme boredom? Do you feel like a loser because you're home and for some reason you can't explain it, so you're forced to get dressed and do something? That's something that you may have to learn. That's a hard thing. But if you don't know that you're not alone, you may feel like, oh man, I have this weird thing that I do on Friday nights where I feel like I'm just a total zero for no reason, because I just, I'm sober now and I just don't know what to do. I just feel like, sometimes in recovery, we could be so squeaky clean that we feel like we're somehow just corny, or you may feel like you're somehow not cool, or you're somehow not hip when the world is moving without you and you're kind of like being grounded. But the truth is, and the truth will always be, that recovery and sobriety is really a beautiful thing. And there's nothing corny about being squeaky. There's nothing corny about being clean and sober. There's nothing corny about that. It's just that when people are lost and they're allowed to do whatever they want without consequences and go out there and drink and do drugs and whatever, we don't know what personal darkness they have. We don't know their stories. We know ours. And I know in my case, I was extremely dysfunctional and unhappy when I was using. And no matter how boring I may feel or seem sometime, or how straight-laced I may have become, it doesn't make me uncool to be better and to be more mature, right? And to be more restrained and have serenity and have this peace and have this quiet. And it doesn't mean I can't have fun and I can't rage and I can't go wild and I can't explore and I can't live abundantly and passionately because I'm sober. I'm learning to live really robust now in sobriety. Like, I want to have fun. I want to have meaningful connections with the person I'm with. I want to have a lot of fun in the bedroom. I want to have a lot of fun with relationships. I want to have I want to live life. I want to have meaningful relationships. I want to go deep. I want to talk. I want to learn. I want to explore. I want to grow. I want to let go. I want to to embrace. It's like I want to grow as a human, and I feel like I could do that in my recovery because I'm not drinking alcohol, which is my Achilles heel. And when I do drink, for whatever reason in the past, my life will totally turn into a tornado and I will hurt myself. And the fact that I was able to stop that darkness and to put myself in a position where now I could say I have 12 years of peace of mind and I'm still thriving and growing and fighting, no matter how the world, well, no matter what's happening in the world, I will never ever again, not to say I haven't in the past, but I will never ever again doubt my recovery, doubt the beauty of it, the beauty of sobriety, the peacefulness of it being a plus, not a minus. And sometimes the occasional loneliness, boredom, or uncertainty just means I'm growing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. It's not that I'm bored because my life sucks. It's because I'm growing so fast through my life that I'm seeing that I'm now ready to go to another level. So some of us may perceive as boredom or inactivity or our life being stale in recovery, it just means you hit a heightened level where now it's time for you to shift and take your whole world to another level, and you're ready for that. That's kind of that reality that we're afraid to obtain. Applying for that big promotion, going to start that big business, going out there and doing that courageous thing. I'm standing up to that person you with that you wanted to leave, but you never had the courage to start over because you was afraid. Whatever it is, we all have millions of different things collectively that we could be thriving for, hiding from, or trying to achieve, or afraid to go for. Go for it. Now is the time. Use your sobriety. This is Sober is Dope. I always teach and I always preach and I always talk about using our sobriety and our recovery as a superpower and taking it and leveling it up to another level. Free yourself, rescue yourself. And that's why this is the year of honesty and loyalty. And I'm being really real with you guys, because if you lie to yourself, you can't expect the world to be fair to you or the world to be honest with you. You can't expect your spouse to be honest with you, or your best friend, or whoever you think you could trust to be honest with you, if you can't be honest with yourself on the inside. Learn yourself, know yourself, keep a journal, know what makes you tick, know your fears, know your strengths, know your whys. Understand these things. So when the world try to tell you who you are, you can say, nah, that's not true. I kind of did enough research on me that I know that I'm like this because of this, and I'm okay with that. I'm different from everyone else, and that makes you unique. So each one of us has different things that we need to highlight about ourselves. And the more we understand those things, the better we can be moving forward. So be honest and be loyal to yourself and your process. You know, you have a week where you haven't been getting enough sleep and you're drinking less water and you're starting to feel hit. That's when you got to sit down and say, I have to be honest with myself. I'm doing something wrong. I'm running too hard at work. I'm running too hard online. I haven't felt like myself lately. I'm struggling a bit and I haven't been talking about it. I'm a little depressed. I'm a little sad. You have to step back and regroup and say, okay, now let me just take care of myself and practice some self-care and get recentered again, because we have to be honest and we have to do the ongoing work. And we always have to remember that we're not alone. And I know that sounds cliche-ish, but I'm telling you, in recovery, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel alone in your house with people, in your home with the person you love. It's going to be days where you're just going to feel like, damn, I feel like an outsider. I don't know. I just feel like the world doesn't see me. I feel different. I feel unheard. And everyone could be listening to you. Everyone could love you. Everyone could be laughing with you. You're still going to feel off. You're still going to feel different. You're still going to feel like that new kid in school around people you knew your whole life. You're going to feel like that kid on the first day of school that everyone looked at and wanted to crack on. You're going to feel off. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because life works like that. When you sober, your brain changes, your body changes, you change for the better. But sometimes that on that journey, you are doing a journey of self-discovery and you're relearning yourself. So it's okay to embrace these changes. Just like for me, my 12 years could feel like your second month. You know, your third month could feel like my 12 years. It's all interchangeable. Time does not make my recovery journey better than yours. The only thing that does that is how we all individually feel at the moment and how we perceive our recovery in our environment. And that's why I talk the way I talk and I teach the way I teach on Sober is Dope, because I want you to always be optimized to appreciate your environment and to love who you are in your recovery and understand that you dope and you're amazing and nobody can tell you shit. And when the world tries to abuse you, mimic you, clown you, or make you feel crazy because you're sober, and make you feel like, oh, you think you're goody two shoes, or you think you're better than everyone because you're sober, and they try to play with you, just remember, say, listen, God said be sober, so I know what I'm doing. Everything that's outside of sobriety is not of God, it's not of peace, it's not of love. It functions on the frequency of death. And if I'm far away from that shit, then I win today. And I am proud of myself. And that makes me too good for school and too cool for school. And it makes me want to stand up, clap for joy. And it makes me proud of myself. You are on the right side. The world is going to try to teach you that you're not. Social media is going to try to make people fabricate fun, which promotes partying, which promotes using, and they're not going to show you the reality of all of the deaths every 30 seconds from fentanyl overdoses, all of the alcohol, paracentesis, and liver, and all of the people dying of liver disease and type 2 diabetes. And they're not going to talk about the mental health pandemic and people losing their minds in the streets and on the trains, and the homeless population be at an all-time high due to addiction, and the death toll be at the all-time high due to addiction. They're not going to show you the clinics, the rehabs, the jails, the prisons, all of the people who made mistakes. They're not going to show you all the people who lost their loved ones, their kids, their families, their wives, their children, their careers, their legacies, their self-respect. They're not going to talk about all that, but they're going to show you reels, and they're going to show you highlights of shit that's fabricated, that's going to make you doubt your recovery journey as if you did something wrong with saving your life. And that's why I'm here to tell you, don't fall for the trap. You're listening to Sober is Dope, and it's okay. I'm part of the trap. I have to sometimes say that. I can't always post these squeaky clean images on Sober is Dope without always talking about the reality. But the way I try to keep balance is when I speak on a podcast, I always say, remember the darkness. In the book, it's all about spiritual warfare in the darkness, because we're fighting principalities and powers, and we're fighting things that's beyond ourselves sometime, and all we could do is control what we do while we fight this fight. That's why I always say in 1 Peter verse 5:8, God says, be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, walketh around like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. All right. So that's why I say be sober and be vigilant, meaning be vigilant means you have to go out there and hunt and fight to protect yourself. You have to be vigilant in your pursuit for sobriety, and you can't let anyone take that away from you, which is synonymous with your peace of mind, your sanity, and your mental health. Okay, so your sobriety represents the overarching idea of serenity, peace, clarity, and, wholeness. And when anyone takes us out of that, they're taking you out of your peace. They're taking you out of a place where you could foster peace into a place where you can only foster chaos. Stay on track. And remember, if you are in active addiction, this is what I'm telling you. There's a promise that you will find peace in some form in time, or if not immediately, if you just choose yourself long enough to let sobriety do its job. It's very good when you give yourself 5 days of sobriety, and I cannot explain the glory of that 5th day when you wake up, because the 3rd day you wake up is a different type of glory. That's a beautiful feeling. Anyone that's in active addiction, I'm going to play this out for you. Your 1st day may be the worst day of your life, or it may feel like the easiest. I didn't drink today, but that 2nd day is going to be challenging. That 3rd day, you're going to have something enter your mind and spirit called hope. You're going to have a bad day most likely, but you're going to feel a glimmer of what can be, the potential of you being healthier, sobering up. By the 4th day, you start to develop power. You start to develop the will to heal, and you'll start to feel better. Your appetite will start coming back. Your thoughts start to come back, and you feel great. By that 5th day, you like, I can be the impossible. I could do the impossible as long as I will. I could do anything I want. I'm incredible. I'm amazing. I got this. I got this. It takes 5 days to choose yourself, and you wake up with the option to keep going or to go back. But some of us can't get that day one going, and that's why we encourage sobriety, and we tell our stories on how we were at rock bottom and how I was drinking and I hit this hell, this personal hell that was just ridiculous, man. And it was just a personal hell to me. On the outside looking in, it could have just been like, yo, I'm a guy who had a bad year and I just was going through, I partied too hard and I had a bad week. That's what it would have looked like to the public. But to the world, I felt like the whole world was over. Like if I did not get on my knees and just say to the universe, say to God, listen, I am done. The devil has captured me. Please help me. Please, please. If I did not get on that knees and hear that voice, I'm telling you, I don't even know if I'll be alive. But I had to get, it wasn't about the voice. See, people here Sober is Dope is saying it's this miraculous transformation because I heard God's voice upon getting on my knees. The miracle was that I got on my knees. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. What happened afterwards was just automatically going to be perfect because I did the one thing that most of us are always afraid to do: be loyal and be honest to the situation. And in that moment, the most honest way I could heal myself and say to everything, including myself, that I needed a change was to surrender in public where I was. I didn't walk to a convenient place on the sidewalk. I didn't make it look pretty. I didn't wait till I got into a building. I just stopped in the middle of the street and said, I understand. If I take another step, I will die. My life is over. I have no more plays. I'm dying, I'm sad, I'm depressed, and I'm angry out of my mind, and I need help. And I got on my knees, and I'm very emotional now, and I said, God, will you help me?
This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. In heart-pumping moments, you need hydration that can keep up. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Scientifically formulated to quickly replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from your well-earned sweat session. Hydrate your favorite mode of movement with Liquid IV, made with triple the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients. Also available and sugar-free. Tear, pour, live more. Visit liquidiv.com to learn more.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox, clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
It's real, man. Man, I really get emotional, but this is that moment where I said, please, I don't want to die. And then that's when I heard the voice, because I surrendered everything in honesty. It was no more bullshit. It was just a human being floating in the middle of space with the potential to create galaxies and kingdoms with, as a human, to experience, to dream, to procreate, to create life, thoughts, and beauty. On my final death and upon death, I plead and said, help me. I need help. Whether you believe in God or not, I don't even know if I believed in God at that moment. I just knew that I needed help. And I had lost so much faith in any idea of a God or myself through the addiction, that the fact that I was able, as default on my darkest hour, just to surrender and ask was an act of bravery. And that was an act of vigilance. When God says, be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, walketh around like a lion seeking whom he may devour. These are the breaks, man. You have to stop what you're doing. No one on the planet is going to speak to you about this type of stuff in recovery. This is real high-end psychological, spiritual, honest darkness and light that we all will experience in some way when we're in a dark space in our world. We can't always communicate to everyone. We can't always share it. It's not everyone we can trust as we get older. So if you're struggling in addiction, or if you're struggling with your recovery and you're in this dark place and you're in your house and you're crying at night, right? Someone may have divorced you. You may be going through heartbreak. Someone may have cheated on you. Someone may have stole from you. Someone may have lied. Your friends may have betrayed you. You may be going through a divorce. You may be hurt. You may have lost all your money. On top of that, you're dealing with addiction and depression. Your mama might not be here. Your papa might not be here. You may have lost a child. Wherever you are, we're all there with you. Each one of us lost a husband, a wife, a mama, a papa, a baby, a friend, a love. We all collectively share the same pain as we thrive through our recovery. So you're not alone. All that matters is as long as you choose yourself, you can always win. All right. So that's what we're talking about. This is Sober is Dope. Sober New Year's. My name is Pop Buchanan. December 15th, 2012 is my sober day. I'm 12. I just celebrated 12 years recovery. The Sober is Dope podcast is over 6 years old. I'm 10 years nicotine free, and I'm really excited. So what I'm here to say to you guys today is I wrote a book, Sober is Dope. I wrote a book, Sober New Year's. If you're one of the people that's part of the Sober is Dope podcast, thank you for your support. Choose yourself. Go out there, love yourself. Go get the Sober is Dope book. Stay on the podcast. Go back and listen to the old episodes. This episode I'm gonna let sit for a while. I'm trying to do episodes that really talk to something real, because I gave you so much that I can only give you what's the real honest truth. Is that the way the world is going, if we do not choose to be honest with ourselves and those around us in every capacity, and if we do not choose loyalty and draw a line in the sand on what we're going to tolerate and how we're going to love ourselves and how we're going to address ourselves and take care of ourselves, and if we do not master the idea of why we are who we are and why we love or may not love what we want to love, we have to know who we are so the world can't try to tell you. So when you go on social media, nothing you see or they say can shake your recovery. When you go see somebody doing something on TV, you see your ex marries $1 million best friend and goes scuba diving and break the world record, and they're celebrating, and you online and you working at Walmart and you pissed and you seeing this that has nothing to do with you, and that does not mean that they're greater than you. Be honest, be loyal, and do not let what you see, the fabricated bullcrap, make you feel less than who you are. And I'm telling you, this is for all of you, including me. This is it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The next level of relapse is going to become from surfing social media, because you're going to just feel like, despite whatever's happening, people just going to eventually, it's just going to just become agendas. You're going to be having this agenda versus that agenda. So just remember who you are. That's why when I go on Sober is Dope, my whole feed has all of you. There's nothing else I can see. It's just this person sober, this person struggling and want to be sober, this person has 5 years, this person celebrating day one. That's my world. I terraform my environment to support my recovery, and I want you to do that. Let your recovery be your compass, and don't let the world make you feel ashamed or make you feel like you less than who you are because of your recovery journey. And if you're in active addiction, I got a message for you. You're not a piece of shit. You're not you're not a failure. You are not a low life. You're not a junkie. You're not any of those things. You're someone that's in pain, and you're someone that I pray can find healing. All right. And you deserve healing, and you're a human soul that deserves love and healing and second chances, third chances, fourth and fifth and sixth, and so on and so forth. You deserve a beautiful life, and you deserve peace. So if you are listening to this and you feel isolated and alone, and somehow, hit me up, talk to me. I talk to you if you're in addiction. We can work things out. I'm not a counselor. I'm not going to be your coach. I'm going to be your friend, and that's all I can offer. I have no agenda. I don't want to charge you nothing. I just want to say, if you someone out there that just said, I heard this message and I just want to say hi, hit me up at Sober is Dope and we can say hi. I'm human. I'm real. I do this for you. I don't do this for acclaim. I don't do this for awards. I don't do this for show. As you guys know, I pop up when I can pop up, because I only want to talk on Sober is Dope moving forward when I have something to say. I want the episodes to mean something. So if I don't have enough to say, I'm just going to wait. And And I just hope you guys are patient enough to hear me when I'm back. All right. You listening to Sober is Dope. It's late over here in New York City. We're going into 2:00 in the morning. I love you all. I'm going to turn in because you know how I feel about sleep. And Happy New Year 2025, the year of honesty and loyalty, taking our life to the next level in our recovery and not letting the world dictate who we are in our recovery and not letting the world force us to doubt who we are in the world. You are beautiful. You are worthy. Catch you on the other side. Go in peace. Later.